Megtooth Sabers requires a lot of work on engineering, drilling, smoothing, tapping, setting, imagining, cutting, stripping, twisting, dipping, tin it, pin it, wire it, fire it, lock it, cast it, swing it, bash it. Megtooth Sabers.
Bam, there we go. Now we're on. Greetings, everyone. Another Megtooth Monday Live with OS6. This one's on Proffieboard 3.7. Battle mode, which is awesome. So, I did not hear the news on Kenobi Max. What's up? You have to tell me in the comments there. But I haven't been with y'all for a couple of weeks. I was on Vet263's stream a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't go on last week because work got in the way. Had another bloody disaster. Really? More joys from work. But at any rate, yeah, I've been kind of out of the loop in the world. I don't even know what the news is on Kenobi Max, so share it in the comments. But at any rate, yeah, I have been busy with OS6 doing a lot of testing. I haven't really tested anything new. I'm just testing on multiple platforms and trying to get everything working like I think it should be working. And, I've even put OS6 on my Mentor Graphics just to see what it did to it and to maybe contribute some ideas as Fernando and Frederick move his prop file forward. And I think I've got some ideas for Fernando that I haven't even brought up to him yet. Oh, cool. Sweet. I heard Hayden Christensen was going to be in it, so that should be pretty cool. Hopefully they can do up the Vader costume a little bit better. But yeah, I heard Hayden Christensen was going to be in it. But, I've got some big projects coming up this week. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away who this is. Hey, Chet Osborne, good to see you. But I'm doing a saber for a child that has cancer, and I'm actually doing one for his brother too. So I had this, NPP lying around with Nana Biscotti in it. That was a 501st Legion deal that went amok. And I built this saber a long time ago, and it's an in-hilt LED. Y'all don't see me do a lot of those. But it's deep red, green. I'm doing gestures on it. Yeah, gestures don't work on Nana Biscotti. So that's one of the sabers, and that's for the kid that has cancer. That's for his older brother, so they can duel each other. And the kid that has cancer, I'm doing a Profi Pixel saber for him. And I just ordered the hilt from Saber Bay, I don't know, a week ago, and the chassis, and I got to put that thing together quick. So I'm probably going to bring you all along for the ride next week as I build that saber for the kid that has cancer. And, that's kind of a rush job. So I'm going to have these two sabers going out the door. And it ended up it's going to be a good thing for me because, that saber, it was a 501st order deal. It was a Legion guy, and he said that's what he wanted, and it was my fault. I didn't take money up front, and I basically fronted money for the whole project, and then he didn't want it. So I've got that one. So that one's going to go to his brother with a standard in-hilt blade. And then the Profi Pixel saber is going to go to the kid that's got cancer. And, I'll probably bring you all along for the build on that hopefully next week. I'm probably going to build all the components. I'm going to go ahead and wire the speaker and the NeoPixel module. and get those ready to go. And then next week we'll probably bring y'all in and we'll go ahead and, you know, install the saber. And I have the focus figured out on my camera, so we can zoom in on the subject and y'all will be in focus and the videos won't be a cluster like my last two were. So, you know, I've been messing around with OS6 quite a bit. And OS6 is awesome. And Fernando's prop file is awesome. It is going to have some limitations, especially on Proffi 2.2 and 1.5. Especially if you have more than one blade. If you just have, you know, your hilt and your blade. So this saber has two blades, so there's a lot more room, you know, to put stuff on this saber. But, like on my Mentor Graflex, on this hilt, you know, I've got 6 blades on this hilt, and you are kind of limited to what you can do since you have that many blade styles, because any config file that's uber long is not going to fit on there, which I'm cool with on that Graflex, because I don't know if I've told y'all before, but usually on Graflexes I run Graflex fonts, and you know, on a custom saber I'll run all kinds of motion gestures. On custom sabers I'll run all kind of custom fonts, but on a Graflex, you know, I just really you know, stick to the normal fonts. But at any rate, I got to thinking, and I'm going to email Fernando some stuff. I've got some ideas for Fernando on OS6, and it might not even be something they can implement until like OS7. But I got some ideas for these sabers, you know, like my Mentor Graflex. This has the Goth Mentor chassis in it, which I'll show that in just a second because I know not everybody's seen it. But I do have that running on OS6 right now. Might as well show you all that a little bit, huh? So let me go ahead and take this thing apart, and I'll, you know, show you guys it's the Mentor chassis, and then I'll show you guys it running on OS6. I screwed up the order of operations. What are you going to do? It's been a while since I've taken it apart. So this is the Mentor chassis. This is the Mentor out of that Graflex, and I'll wake it up. And let's see here. Let me just cycle through all the fonts.
Kylo, you do. Isaac Kylo Ren. I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
So this is the first preset. So there's 6 blades on this saber. Number 1, you have the main blade. Number 2, you have the stock connector. They're their own separate blade. We'll try them so you can see them. There's the stock connectors running. Blade number 3 is the 4 LEDs lighting up the crystals in the crystal chamber, because I have 3 crystals, and I have the blade generator, which y'all aren't going to be able to see, but it's in there. So that's blade number 3. Blade number 4 are these NeoPixels running the cycle here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's all so shiny. It's like a Christmas tree. Hey, Kyberphonic. Hey, Jesse. Good to see you on the stream. I did send you a payment. When y'all were on the live stream last night, I was thinking, you know, you called out, what's his name, over using your fonts. And I was like, oh, crap. Because I shipped out a DV6 and an MPP, and Father was on both those sabers, so I sent you the payment for both those copies of Father. Sent K-Sith 2 for Rogue Vader. Both those sabers were kind of weird, because normally customers send me the sabers and the fonts, and both those were kind of, you know, they were wanting me to front the money for it. So, but anyway, I sent you the payment on that, Jesse, so that's what that's up, because you know I've already bought Father, you know, several times, but there was from those 2 sabers. So at any rate, you know, make sure everybody's paying the font makers for the fonts that you're putting on sabers or that you're buying. But at any rate, we get back to OS6 and make it interesting. So I was saying this is blade number 4. Now blade number 5, there's 2 blue LEDs, and I'm trying to point them out. They're right here, and you can see them flashing, and they're at different intervals. but they're kind of like standard LEDs. So they're just normal LEDs. And they basically illuminate that crystal chamber. I know the damn thing blows out the camera, but I'm trying to get it where y'all can see it. But those are the blue normal LEDs that help illuminate the chamber and make it look shinier. Those are Blade 5. And then Blade 6 are the red blinkies here, which I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but see the red blinks? And there's 2 of those, there's 1 on each side. So that's Blade 6. So the problem in OS6 is that Blade 3, 4, 5, and 6 are normal blades, and they're not edit mode compliant blade styles. So you can't mess with them in edit mode, but you can clone them. So basically, this first preset is so long, and it's a New Hope training, Kyberphonic. It's by Kyberphonic. And I'll show you the Auto Blast. So a lot of the other presets on it are Graphics too. So basically I just cloned this whole preset with the crystals and everything to get my next preset. Which this is Kyberphonic's A New Hope training, but this is the one with the normal blaster sounds. And then the next preset, which is Graphics 4. That's by Wanset. And the next preset is Ray. So in my config file, I only wrote the first preset that A New Hope training is on, and then I cloned it and added these other fonts in edit mode. So that was pretty cool. Now the next font,
Are you a Jedi?
you can see that the crystals are green. And the 2 blue LEDs I turned off because if you blend blue and green, you get cyan. So I didn't want cyan. And you can also see that the accent pixels are green here. And my 2 red blinkies are still going. So this is a whole different preset. Now, if you had this, that'd be great. You can just clone it for like Yoda or any other green blade. But you couldn't clone the other one and then turn all this the color it's supposed to be. And I don't know how many presets you could fit on this thing with all those blade styles. It's kind of jam-packed full as it is. And so I have this blade style, which I could clone that for any other green character.
Kylo Ren.
Then this is the Kylo Ren, also, again, totally unique. I've got the blade styles going in red here in the accents. And y'all can see the pulsing fire blade in the crystals. And then when you turn it on, it's fire blade. Kylo Ren. So that's a unique preset. You could use it for any fire blade character. Like there's only one. Another red one, but this is not fire. This is just normal red. And this is for Rogue One Vader.
I suggest you try.
And then those are just.
I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
Okay, so now I'm going to prove that this thing is OS6 Saber. So I'm going to turn it into edit mode.
Edit mode. Edit style. Edit color. Edit font. Edit track. Edit settings. Copy preset. Delete preset. Exit. Edit style. Edit color. Edit font. Edit track. Exit.
So this is in edit mode, which is really awesome. But it does have some limitations. So the limitations on edit mode, to me, if y'all get a custom saber like that Mentor Graphics built out, I don't know that you're really going to want edit mode on there, because, at least not right now, because the saber installers that are having to build all those individual blade styles for all those blades on the saber, those aren't going to be editable. And even if you were to use Fernando's OS compliant edit mode blade styles for every one of those blades, even the normal LEDs, I mean, the normal LEDs are going to, you know, be problematic. But I think, you know, on a normal saber that just has a blade, edit mode is great, because, you know, even on a Proffi 2.2, you know, you can fit, you know, maybe 4 or 5, 6, maybe 8 different OS compliant blade styles, and then clone them and then change the way each of them works. I mean, I showed you all last week, you can change ignition styles, you can change ignition timing, you can do different effects on the blade style itself to adjust each blade style. I mean, that's what Fernando's added in. But to me, you know, the OS6 edit mode compliant blade styles are going to be a little bit more limiting on how many presets you can put on your config. But I'm not talking about fonts, I'm talking about presets. But then realize you can load however many fonts you own. Like if you go out and buy every font that Kyberphonic makes, you can put it on your SD card, and you may only have 4 presets on your config file. But if you have 30 you know, sound fonts on your SD card, you could clone one of those presets and then change it to whatever font is on your SD card that wasn't on the config file, and then change the color of the blade, and then change the blade effects and everything. And that way, you know, you could have a blue rotoscope blade or a cyan rotoscope blade for a New Hope training like this one. That's a cyan rotoscope blade. But then you could change that font, which I'll do in a second. You could change that font to like Vader, and then you'd have a red rotoscoping blade. So here is a New Hope training, and this is, of course, by Jesse Kirkbride, but I'm going to go into edit mode and show you how you can change the font. And this works right now without having to reprogram the config. So I'm going to change this first blade to Vader. So I'm going to put it in edit mode.
Edit mode. Edit style. Edit color. Edit font.
I'm going to edit the font. It's the test font. Alright, so there's Rogue One Vader. I'm going to select that.
Save. Main menu.
Now, Rogue One Vader isn't blue, it's red, right?
Edit track. Edit settings. Copy preset. Edit settings. Edit track. Edit font. Edit color.
I want to edit the color.
Select blade. 1. Select option. Color options. Select effect. Base color. Select option. Color list. Red. Orange red. Red. Save. Color options. Adjust color hue.
Oops.
Cancel. Select effect. Cancel. Color menu. Cancel. Select blade. Cancel. Main menu.
Alright, so now I'm out of edit mode. So I've changed our first preset, which was a New Hope training, to be Rogue One Vader. And now Rogue One Vader has a red rotoscoping blade. But now let's say, hey, I want to change some effects on this blade. Let's change the ignition effects. And hey, Jeff, it's great to see you, Birch. Hey, look, I wore this just for you tonight, Birch. That way you can make fun of me and call me Canadian. But at any rate, so now we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to change the ignition effects on our Rogue One Vader that we just added that wasn't on our config file.
Edit mode. Edit style. Edit color. Edit style. Select blade. 1.
Now you can see that blade 1 is flashing. That's the one I'm editing.
Select option. Select style. Edit style settings.
We want to edit style settings.
Select option. Style options. Ignition options.
I want ignition options.
Option 0.
So this is option 0. I'm going to twist the saber. There's 1, which is a wipe.
Option
2, which is a wipe down. 3 is the one I want,
Option
which is
3.
spark tip.
Save. Select option.
Now I want to slow down that extension
Ignition time.
with ignition time. I kind of like that.
Save. Select option.
Now
Cancel.
I'm going to exit.
Style menu. Cancel. Select blade. Cancel. Main menu.
Alright, so now we're back out of edit mode. And I can retract the saber. Oops. There's our new extension. Huh. I'll do it where you guys can see it. There's our new slower extension with the spark tip. Hey, Jennaru, yeah, give me a chicken sandwich. If you're going to Chick-fil-A, I'll take a chicken sandwich like that same one you bought last time. Jen's taking my order on the live video. Oh, God, I love her. She's so awesome. Yeah, that's crazy. Jennaru's on the live stream to take my order. But that's edit mode. Eventually I need to change that back to a New Hope training because, you know, my favorite font is going to be the first font on this saber. So let's change it back. We're going to go back into edit mode. This is how easy it is to change a font. Back into edit mode.
Edit mode. Edit style. Edit color. Edit font.
I suggest you try it again, Luke.
Save. Main menu.
This
Exit.
time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
Forgot to change the color.
Edit mode. Edit style. Edit color. Select blade. 1. Select option. Color options. Select effect. Base color. Select option. Color list. Red. Orange red. Dark orange. Orange. Gold. Yellow. Green yellow. Green. Aquamarine. Cyan. Deep sky blue.
There we
Save. Color options. Cancel. Select effect. Cancel. Color menu. Cancel. Select blade. Cancel. Main menu. Exit.
Alright, so now we're back out of edit mode and we still have a spark tip ignition, but I'm back on Jesse Kirkbride's A New Hope training. I wonder if I picked the right one. I did. So I have A New Hope training back. That's how easy it is to change fonts. Now the cool part about OS6 and edit mode is that you can load up your SD with every font that Kyberphonic or Ksith or, you know, pick your font maker makes. And you may only have 4 or 5 presets on your SD card, but if your Saber is programmed with edit mode, then you can copy a preset. So say like preset 1 was, you know, Smooth Jedi with a blue rotoscope blade. You could copy that preset, and when you copy the preset, then you just go to that preset, go into edit mode, and then you change the font on that preset. Yeah, Proffi, potato, patata, you call it what you want. Jen said it might be soggy when it gets there. It is what it is. Y'all know what I do for a living. I'm used to eating soggy food and warm sodas because that's my life. That's basically my work life. You know, maybe one of these next couple Mondays I got something to read that Jen put up that was kind of pathetic about my line of work, because I know a lot of y'all probably tune in and watching. You know, the funny thing, last night I was watching the live stream. Kyberphonic was in it, and along with Benji Graham and a bunch of others. And I always tune into that live stream because Benji makes me laugh, because Benji's so funny. Like everything he does, he's so funny. It reminds me of Chris Farley. And I tune in that live stream because it makes me smile. And I know a lot of times I'm probably like intense and everybody's like, yeah, Megtooth Sith guy, he doesn't smile too much. And he's always so serious. And, there's a reason that I don't smile a whole lot. And then my personality is pretty intense. But deep down inside, I do laugh. Especially last night. It was a, good stream last night. Good fun, good folks. And, but at any rate, I wanted to talk about that OS6 functionality and how cool it's working out. I think the big problem with OS6 is I think that Frederick really designed the Proffieboard 3.7, which is in this Saber. He really designed the Proffieboard or Proffieboard, since Birch is on the screen. You want me to call it Profi, Jeff, since I'm wearing a hockey jersey? That make you happy? I call it a Profi. I'm like from Canada right now. Profi. But when Frederick designed the Proffieboard 3.7, I think he really designed it with OS6 and edit mode in mind because it has a lot more storage room on it. So I'm like only at 40% capacity on this. Whereas on my Mentor Graphics, when I upgraded oops, didn't mean to turn that on.
Stretch out with your feelings.
I didn't mean to, when I was doing the config file for that Mentor, because it has so many blade styles, I was really limited into how many presets I could program on my config. Now, I'm still unlimited in that I can clone each of my presets and add, whatever font I want, as long as that font matches that color package and that clone preset. That's funny. I'm dealing with the delay, so you guys get what I'm saying like 45 seconds or a minute after I'm saying it. But the bottom line is that, there's still a bunch of stuff we're going to have to work through with OS6. And, Fernando's building his blade style library. And I have some requests for his library, which I don't think he's really thought about yet. Because Fernando really hasn't built a whole lot of sabers like this. And a lot of my sabers have, a lot of NeoPixel accents in them. So they're lit up all over the place, like this one. This one's like a Christmas tree, y'all. When it's all lit up, it's just nothing but light. There's light coming out of every orifice on this Saber. It's crazy. And it's just a crazy build. But to get all those crazy blade styles, I had the config file is pretty large on that Saber. So you're taking an already huge config file because it has 6 blade styles in each preset, because I pointed out each blade on that earlier tonight. But then you start taking edit mode compliant blade styles for each of those 6, and maybe you'd have room for 2 presets, maybe on a Proffi 2.2 or 1.5. Now, when I say edit mode compliant, I mean if you go into color changing, like if you went into color changing on the Saber, you'd render a lot of stuff inoperable on it. If you went into universal color changing, and that's something that we're going to have to work through as we go. But on this Saber, if you went into color changing, you're not going to hurt anything. This Saber is a simple Saber. It just has the main blade. Now it does have 2 blades because the stock is independent in there. But the bottom line is that, on a simple Saber like this, edit mode is absolutely fantastic. But what I was saying is if you get a custom Saber like this built, I wouldn't put edit mode on it. And to be honest with you, I really don't think you need edit mode, because a Saber that you're pumping that much money into, like that Mentor Graphics, to me, and that one's in a New Hope Graphics, and I have it in a New Hope condition. And the font that I really think ought to be on a New Hope Graphics is Kyberphonics, the New Hope Training, which indeed that's the first preset on this Saber. And I'm going to put the Saber back together so y'all can. So that's the Mentor Graphics. I'm going to put the clamp back on it and close the clamp. And there you go, my New Hope Mentor Graphics. with Jesse Kirkbride's New Hope training on it. Now that saber's not very loud, and I have the volume turned down on it. But I guess that's the biggest thing. So I do have some requests that I'm going to make on Fernando's library, and I didn't really want to bother him with them because he's so busy right now in OS6 testing and fixing problems that are popping up in OS6. And OS6 testing is still ongoing. I think it's going to change the way people with Proffiesabers view their sabers. Then the problem's going to be is all the Proffiesabers or Proffiesabers that are out there, you know, like the Dark Wolf sabers and a lot of the other LGT resellers that have sold those Proffiesabers all over the US, those owners are going to have to get those sabers shipped off to somebody that can upgrade their config to make it OS6 and edit mode compliant. But once it's OS6 and edit mode compliant, it's shipped back to them, they can add any fonts they want, and there's no need to reprogram the saber, reflash the board. You can go into edit mode and grab whatever you want. Jen's getting Jesse a chicken sandwich. It's really going to be soggy when it gets down to Florida, Jesse. That's not going to be any good at all. But what else did I want to talk about tonight? So I did also put it on, some of y'all may have seen my video or may not have. This is my, I'll show you all here in a second. I might as well show you all before I take it apart. This is my TFA Graflex. It's got the brass eye. It's got the TFA clamp. It's got the rivets and the Cobalt D-ring. Hey, Hexec, we'll see you Monday Night Raw. That's awesome. Go have fun with the boys. There's only two things on the level in this world: law enforcement and professional wrestling. At any rate, that's one of my buddies. He always says that. It's kind of funny. Go have fun with the boys, Jeff. This is my TFA Graflex, and this one has Teensysaber on it. I don't know if that's going to... There it goes. It focused in. You can see that's a stacked board. That's a sandwich board. That is Teensysaber. And I also put edit mode on this saber. Oops. Let's put it on a different preset.
Hello there. Kylo. Anything else?
The balance. The balance. The balance.
Oops. Still not it.
Graflex.
There we go.
TFA HD.
So, you know, this one's got accent spooling on the aft of the chassis, and then when you ignite it, you know, the crystal chamber lights up, blah blah blah. This is the old Goth master chassis for the Graflex 2.0s, and you know, this is Teensysaber, and it has edit mode. I can show you.
Edit mode. Edit style. Edit color. Edit font. Edit track. Edit settings. Copy preset.
So I'm getting out of... Just wanted y'all to see that it does have edit mode.
Battery level 3.96 volts.
So, you know, the big issue I was having on Teensysaber, so this lightsaber is 4 years old. This install is 4 years old, and it currently is running OS6, which is pretty awesome. For a 4-year-old lightsaber to still be running the most recent OS shows you how, you know, Frederick wants this, the Proffi OS to remain functional in all the boards. So I have OS6 programmed on Proffi 1.5, on Teensysaber, on Proffi 3.7, and Proffi 2.2. Now, I wanted to go to kind of, I wanted to go into screen share and show y'all something really quick. Show you how...
And son will move into the asteroid field. And we'll have a couple of surprises for him.
I wanted to show y'all how easy it is to change a saber in the BLE app. So stand by, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to go into the Lightsaber Firmware, which I have down here. You stand by, because I'm going to connect to this saber wirelessly. Now you can plug in with a wire too, That's the DFC Transcendence. I want to pair with it. And so hopefully this works. Oh, there it comes. It's pairing. So this is my Dark Force Custom Sabers Transcendence. Now, there's a lot more fonts on here than you see here. So what I'm going to do is, you can see...
I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
So you can see that's Jesse Kirkbride's A New Hope training. You can see my battery is at 4.03 volts. My volume is at 2300. And I'm going to turn the volume down a bit while we're working on the Saber. And I'm going to go into edit with this pencil button here in the upper right corner. Now you can see I'm editing A New Hope training. Well, what I want to do is I want to clone it. So you see this plus sign down here? That's copy preset. So I'm going to copy this preset, and then I get this thing warning saying, you want to duplicate this preset? Yes, I do. So now I've got A New Hope training, but now I want to pick a new font. I don't even know which font I'm going to pick. But now here's where every font on my SD card is available in this pick list. And you can see I've got Rescue, Seismic, Vader, New Hope Training, F1, Crossguard. I'm trying to pick something I don't have on here. Let's pick F1.
Now this is pod racing.
And I'm going to call this F1. That's what we're going to call that preset. And then the track, I can pick any track that's on my SD card. And I'm looking for pod. I think pod is what I called the track for this one. It's Jesse's. But, oh, there it is, Pod Wave.
Now this is pod racing.
And then you can see here's my base color, and I'm going to change that. And I'll make it something crazy that we can change. So I'm going to make it pink, and we'll change it.
Now this is pod racing.
Everything else I'm going to leave like it is. What is my ignition time? Ignition time's 300. Let's make it 500. 300's a little fast. We're going to make the ignition time 500 milliseconds.
Now this is pod racing.
So every time I make a change, you hear the Saber play the font sound, because that's basically saying, all right, we've written it. So now you can see we've got this new preset down here, F1, that used to be A New Hope Training. We cloned it. Now we've made it F1. Now I'm going to go back out of this mode, and I need to get you on a shared screen. So stand by, because I'm going to put a blade in this Saber. I'm just going to put a test blade in this Saber so you guys can see the... So you guys can see it all working. Okay, so now let me go back into the Streamlabs, stand by, and I'm going to go to Windows Share, but with me down in the corner with this thing, and then I'm going to go back into the Lightsaber program, and I can't see what you guys are seeing, so I'm trying to hold this up. Now I'm using the computer to turn the Saber on and off. So there's on, clash, blast, force sound, lockup, tip drag, melt, lightning block, but now let's say, hey, I don't like this color on this. This pink is awful, so we're going to go into edit mode. So I'm going to press and hold both buttons.
Edit mode, edit style, edit color, color menu, color options, select effect, base color, select option, color list, red, orange red, dark orange, orange, gold, yellow, green, aquamarine, cyan, deep sky blue, Dodger blue, blue.
I'm going to make it blue.
Save color options. Adjust white level. Cancel cancel, select effect, cancel, color menu, cancel, main menu, exit.
So that's how easy it is to add a preset in the ProffiOS workbench. And you know, if you have Bluetooth, you can control your Saber. You can edit each of these. There's so much you can edit, y'all. Like if I go down into edit, you can see there's style 1 and it's using built-in 01 and base color, which we've already changed in edit mode. And I wanted to go into the SD card and show you what it's doing on the SD card, but I really don't have time to get into that tonight. But I wanted y'all to see, definitely wanted y'all to see that. So let me try and catch up in the chat. Cole's here. Hey Cole, Chet Osborne, Max. It's not out of beta yet. It's not out of beta yet. Still in beta testing, Cole. Yeah, you know, I have Bluetooth on a couple of my Sabers, but it's you know, I always viewed it as a gimmick. But now with you know, with the ProffiOS workbench, it makes it really easy to connect to your Saber and edit your Saber without even, you know, hooking it up. So Bluetooth makes sense there. Hey Bobby, you know, you'll be able to call me here in a minute, Bobby, when we get off this live stream. I'll walk you through those button controls. But at any rate, yeah, Bluetooth is definitely worth it now with the ProffiOS workbench. Now, the Bluetooth that I'm using in this Saber, so this is an older Saber, y'all. This is a Proffi 1.5. So I installed one of these Dark Force Custom Sabers Transcendence for K-Sith with Teensysaber in it. And that was a long time ago, but I liked his Saber so much that I bought one and installed it with Proffi 1.5. And then it has the Red Bear Nano V2 Bluetooth in it, which that's an old clunky Bluetooth. But I don't know if the new ones, like the ones that Dimitri is suggesting, work on the Proffi workbench yet, because I don't have one. But I will try and get one wired up and make sure it works on the ProffiOS workbench. But that ProffiOS workbench, the cool thing about it, y'all, is you can also plug into your Saber, you know, with a normal you know, a USB plug. You can plug into your Saber and you can use the ProffiOS workbench plugged in. You know, when you first open the workbench, stand by, let me go back to screen share and I'll show you guys. So we'll go to the workbench and, you know, you can, my Saber's still connected there. Let's close. When I open it up at first, you can see it gives you the options. You want to connect with USB or with Bluetooth. And so before I connected with BLE, Bluetooth, but if you wanted to plug in, you would select USB. And I guess the big lesson that we've learned there is if you're going to do that, if you're going to connect with a wire, you need to make sure that you eject your SD card if you have your Proffi program for mass storage. But it's pretty cool. You cannot flash using Bluetooth Max, but you can edit the Saber with the ProffiOS workbench. So you can clone presets and change fonts and change tracks, change the track that your Saber plays with the font in the ProffiOS workbench. You can change blade colors. You can change clash settings. I didn't show you guys that. Hang on a minute. Let me turn my Bluetooth back on so it pairs. Because I wanted to show you guys you can change settings too. Stand by. Let me go back into Windows Share and go back into this. I'm going to pair with BLE wirelessly. Trans. It's paired. Pair. We'll see if it works. There we go. Okay, so you know these are your Saber controls, so you can control the Saber here. You know, I'm going to turn on with the maybe. There you go. I can turn it off. But you can also go and edit a lot of settings on your Saber. So right now it's pulling all the settings. You can see the clash threshold is at 2, brightness is at 100%. My blade length is 133 on this Saber. I've got gesture ignitions, swing on speed, and then all my gesture ignitions. So there's quite a bit of settings that you can adjust on your Saber as well. You know, you can adjust your volume right here in this bar. You can adjust your volume. You can see my battery readout is at 4 volts. But, you know, say for instance your clash threshold was too low and you were getting speaker-induced clashes, you know, you can increase it. But I'm going to drop it back to 2. And then you can get back out of that by just clicking there. And now we're back to Saber Control. So on this ProffiOS workbench, you have Saber Control, which you're controlling your Saber with this workbench. I'm going to turn it off. But you also have your Edit Settings function, which it takes a while to load because it's pulling it off Bluetooth. And then, you know, I go out of that and I can go into my Edit function where I'm editing the presets. This is where you can copy presets and delete presets you don't want, and it's doing all this saving on your SD. So that is basically the ProffiOS workbench in a nutshell. It's pretty simple, it's pretty cool, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, don't rip off your USB. That's one thing I meant to say, Max. You know, when you're doing all this testing, you're doing a lot of programming of your Sabers, and that's usually why most of the beta tests, I've used this Saber for OS beta tests because the board's easy to get to. I've got Bluetooth on it, so I can do tons of stuff on this Saber. So this is normally my OS beta testing Sabers, my Transcendence. And I did install one of these for K-Sith with Teensysaber. I would love to have that Saber back and put Proffi in it, but you know, I did make it work with Teensysaber back in the early days of Smooth Swing for K-Sith when he was writing fonts for Smooth Swing. But you know, when we're working on new boards, I usually put new boards in new Sabers. You know, this is my 3.7 beta testing Saber for Proffieboard 3.7, which, you know, is delayed because of all this nonsense in the world. But you know, on this beta test of the OS, I've tested multiple platforms. I've tested Teensysaber, Proffi 1.5, Proffi 2.2, Proffi 3.7 to make sure that I had operability on all the platforms, and also wanted to update all my Sabers. So yeah, when you're working on OS testing, Max, and you're having to program the board often, you have to be extra careful with that USB port that you don't kill it. Hey, Solo Sabers, that's awesome to see Jeremy pucking in here. We better end the stream or he's going to start talking about my mom. And it's great to see Jeremy on here. That's an awesome. I saw the crossguard, Jeremy, you just posted. That's awesome. I think that's Phoenix Props' new version, but it's also some other company. That crossguard is pretty awesome. You know, I've got 2 KROR crossguards here that I plan on installing. I'm probably not going to take on any commissions after I do the cancer patient Sabers. I'm going to try to concentrate, I think, at least on getting one of those crossguards installed. So, oh, Jeremy, you can take it, man. You're tough. But at any rate, yeah, OS6 is advancing. It's moving. You know, the testing is going fairly well. Some people that are testing are having difficulties. I'm not seeing some of the same stuff that they're seeing, but, you know, certainly there's some glitches on Teensysaber with track and editing track, and editing the font causes some lockups on Teensysaber, but I haven't experienced that on Proffi 1.5, Proffi 2.2, or Proffi 3.7, so OS6 is going good on all the other Sabers. But yeah, SP Sabers, that's it. Yeah, so Solo Sabers LLC just installed one of those Phoenix Props SPs. I forget what it's called, but that thing looks awesome, Jeremy. I really like the kind of grungy, flat, black, grunged up look of that thing. It's very TFA. That's a very cool Saber. I haven't even commented on it yet. I saw it right before I went live, and I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. Yeah, well, that's awesome. From Australia. And, you know, I think that Phoenix Props, I think that guy's out of Germany. So it must be like a Euro-Australian combo going there on all that, so that's pretty cool to see. But at any rate, I can't think of much to ask tonight. What do y'all want to try to do next week? Because I think we're going to be building. The cancer sabers for the cancer patient, and probably going to do that next week. I think eventually we need to dive into the SD card and show y'all what OS6 is programming on the SD cards when you're cloning these presets. Because you can, if you kind of understand what it's doing, you can go in there and change fonts and tracks all right there on the SD card. And basically that's what I had to do on the Teensysaber, is because I couldn't get the track I wanted because it kept locking up. So I just went on the SD card and changed the track manually on the presets any. But OS6 is working good. I've made my criticisms so far of OS6 tonight. And again, if you have a complex saber, I know Jeremy puts together a lot of, mostly single blade sabers that don't have a lot of bells and whistles on them. But I know Jeremy's done some installs that have some accent, neopixels and stuff going on them. I know he did one the other week that was crazy. No, chat, I ordered the hilt from Saber Bay, and the hilt and chassis should be on the way from Saber Bay. And all the parts I have here, I'm donating all the parts. Basically, I just told the main charity that we're doing this for, I'm like, look, if you just help cover my main parts cost, which is the hilts, then I'm a wash on everything else. So I'm throwing in the soundboard, all the NeoPixel blade and everything in the blade for the in-hilt LED saber. I'm throwing all that in myself, which is fine. I just want to get these sabers done because they want these before Christmas. So I'm kind of like in panic building mode. Of course, I have the in-hilt sabers already built, which is running the ASI4 kid. But then the cancer saber, the cancer patient saber, that's for his brother. The cancer patient saber is going to get a Proffieboards saber, and I already have the blade built for it. I just need the hilt and the chassis so I can install the components, and I'm already building the config for it. And yeah. But at any rate, yeah, we're killing it. But at any rate, that's kind of what I got going on for next week. So I think next week, I might bring you all along for that panic mode build as we try to get those sabers done before Christmas for the cancer patient. And then I think after that, we'll dive into the SD. Of course, we'll probably take, let's look at the calendar, because next Tuesday is going to be next Monday is going to be the 20th. So yeah, we could go on the 27th. We'll go on the 27th. And, we'll try to dissect those SD cards a little bit that are coming out of OS6. And, for those that have Proffieboards or Proffieboards and you want to get in on the testing, especially, and this goes for you too, Jeremy, if you're still on the stream, it really helps to get involved in the testing because it gets you that much further ahead on writing your config file for OS6. A lot of the complaints that most Saber enthusiasts have about Proffi are going to be resolved in OS6. The one that won't are, you're not going to have an infinite number of blade styles per se, but the blade styles that Fernando's building have a lot of options in them. So every one of these OS6 edit mode compliant blade styles, I think Fernando said, have 64 editable functions in them, with ignition type, with different functions, different colors of the effects. You can do all kinds of things with these blade styles. You can change the speed of the effects. You can do all kinds of stuff. So one of Fernando's blade styles can be changed in 64 ways, and then you can change to every color on the spectrum. So therefore, you only need one blade style to do a bunch of different characters' blades. To me, like for the main Star Wars characters, his rotoscope blade style is primo. I used to program a lot of the sabers with a audio flicker. And the one thing I didn't like about the audio flicker is sometimes I think it flickered off too much. but this rotoscope blade style is awesome, and it'll work for most character sabers. And, you know, if you're going to have the rotoscope, the fire blade, and maybe a couple other blade styles, and every one of those blade styles has those 64 interchangeability functions, you know, that's going to be pretty awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Jeremy's coming up with some cool stuff. Jeremy's so far ahead. Jeremy installs like 12 sabers a day. Jeremy's probably installed like, you know, 10 sabers for every little Monday live video. You know, he's like, I don't know what's taking Tom so long because I've installed like 12 sabers during this video because I got all the cameras and all that crap around. But at any rate, yeah, I think we're gonna pretty much call that an end for tonight. And Jen and Ella should be home here shortly, and I'm gonna go eat some Chick-fil-A, and we'll send Jesse's Chick-fil-A sandwich down to Florida. We'll send it UPS. Don't hold your breath, Jesse. But it was great seeing everybody on tonight, having Jeremy on, you know, and Max and Chet and Cole and all the regulars, and AA Battery seems kind of new to the stream tonight. Welcome, AA Battery. Nice to have you on board on the stream. I think the rotoscope style works for prequel sabers and sequel sabers minus Kylo. The rotoscope to me is just an improved blade style. It doesn't like spin or anything like that. It has the appearance of the lightsabers that I recall from the original trilogy. But at the same time, you know, I think it also works for sequel trilogy sabers. But I don't know. Y'all may be pickier than me about blade styles, but to me, rotoscope is such a cool style. I think it works for anything. So this is rotoscope. This is a rotoscope. So it's basically like a flickering blade, but it flickers, you know, up the blade and down the blade. It's weird. It's multi-dimensional. It looks a lot better than the old audio flicker. It's just way better. So if I go into color changing mode, you'll see a solid color. Stand by. So there it is, solid, without the rotoscope. Oops.
Orange, gold, yellow, green, aquamarine, cyan, deep sky blue.
Alright, so there it goes back to the rotoscope style. I killed the style, but at any rate, that saber's on OS6. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Keep tuning in, keep watching. And for those of you that are messing around on Proffieboards, get in on that OS6 testing. We need a lot of help. And you know, everybody make sure to pay it forward to Fernando for all the work he's done. He's going to make life a lot simpler for people that are buying Proffieboard sabers. They're going to get a lot more user changeability out of their sabers. They're going to be able to add all the fonts they want. They can buy everything Jesse Kirkbride owns, put it on their SD card, clone a preset, change the font, change the color, change the style settings. Bob's your auntie. You're in business. It's definitely a game changer. But wanted to show that off again for y'all and have the little discussion about it. And I was glad to see y'all in here. But stay tuned in. Hopefully next week we'll be installing the Cancer Saber if Saber Bay gets me that order relatively quickly. So I'm going to peace out because it's time for me to go. I think that alert is Jen and Ella getting home. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hopefully we're going to be doing the Cancer Sabers. May the Force be with you all, or the dark side as it were.
Thank you everybody for watching as usual. I really appreciate y'all tuning in on my channel. And as always,